Hey crew, Mark Hadmaker here. Let's do another warrior walking freebie. In our warrior walking program, again, base historical record, indigenous movement, early days, boxes, wrestling. This is really the original road work was this walking. And it doesn't always have to be these crazy feats of stamina and endurance. A lot of it's about the speed, and a whole lot of it's about the how of it. And we go into a great deal of detail about talking about it's not this lengthening of stride. It's actually posterior stride might gain a little bit. It's mainly about the gait, the turnover, the speed of what's going on. And part of what goes on in there, we talk about, if you've already got the program, you know what I'm talking about, this proper psoas slingshotting effect, because there's an active and a passive aspect of the walking. If you're feeling pressure, if you're feeling engagement from the calves, from the gastrocnemius, the soleus, if you're feeling engagement from the quads, you're feeling any engagement from the hip, it's not warrior walking. Yeah, you're walking, you're putting one foot in front of another, but it's not giving us this relaxation phase, and you're not allowing it to the psoas do this slingshotting effect during the relaxation phase. Because a lot of times what happens is if we've got some resultant back pain throughout the years, we'll say, wrong walking, and don't let me be your doctor here. What's happening, we've got that hip socket in there, the head of the femur is sliding in there, and we're losing this little bit of the space, this acetabulum space at the forward part of the hip socket, because we're actually allowing these muscles to stay tense the entire time and draw up and stay tight in there. Now, a lot of people want to stretch their hip flexors and stretch the quads. They hit these couch stretch thing. This will give us some relief. This is only temporary. Where walking is actually using the relaxation phase, that psoas slingshot phase, is allowing this natural spacing in the acetabulum to occur the entire way. I'm going to give you one little, it's not even an exercise, this passive movement right here, and it's not meant to replace the warrior walking, but to give you a feel of what we're talking about by this acetabulum spacing. If you lay down on your belly, and I'm up on my elbows. I'm not trying to go higher because I'm not trying to get any kind of stretch in my lumbar spine. I'm not trying to get any stretch in my hip flexors, anything, or the high portion of the quadriceps. Actually, what I'm going to take is I'm going to allow everything from my waist down to go dead. It says net drag on the mat. The friction coefficient is high. And what I want to do is my elbows right here, I'm going to drag myself forward. I'm going to leave my hips behind and drag myself forward a little bit while relaxing everything down low. And what is that actually happening here? I'm doing it right, keeping the tension out. We've got the hip socket, we've got the head of the femur in here, and we pull, and we're getting just a tiny bit of spacing right here, allowing some pressure to be let off. So our job here is to put those elbows in, go dead, drag forward, and stay there. Don't raise up, don't do any of this noise, just drag forward, leave this dead, and allow that bit of spacing. Do this for about a minute, and then do a little bit of a bigger drag to leave everything behind you. Now, this is not meant to replace what the walking is, but what I want you to do after about a minute to 2 minutes, you'll feel this little bit of spacing in there, and it feels good, and you're going to feel this nice relaxation because there's no muscle engagement whatsoever. So whenever you're using the warrior walking program, every time you're having a forward step, this is the feeling that you're seeking and going for. Zero engagement, this bit of this natural spacing in the acetabulum is what we're going for. It's a very subtle feel. There's no stretch. This is not a stretch. This is not an exercise. This is not a replacement. It's meant to be a way for you to do a self-experiment to go, oh, so when you're doing the warrior walking program, you actually have kind of an internal mnemonic or template to go, this is what I'm looking for, and if you're not feeling it, it means you're turning on anterior chain muscles and you want the posterior. Again, if that all sounds like gobbledygook, take a look at the warrior walking program. I'm telling you, man, we don't have to pound the pavement, we don't have to throw out all these burpees, we don't have to swing the kettlebells or whatever. You can do what the old timers were doing, you can do what the Kiowa, Comanche, the Apache Scouts were doing. Just do it this way. It's just man on our hips and knees and our joints. Hopefully you enjoyed that material right there. Again, run over to the website, extremeselfprotection.com. Browse through all the stuff, but if you look at this in particular, take a look at unloaded the warrior walking material.